Every man needs to be tested at one point of time. This is a very famous saying, and this is the time, viewers, for you people to test yourself. So, this is test series number 10 in front of you, and you can check yourself, you can check your performance. So, before I start with, please like, share, and subscribe my channel. And the question number 1 is Doris Lessing was born in Option A, Afghanistan. Option B, Sri Lanka. Option C, India. Option D, Iran. So the Doris Lessing, author of Grass is Singing, was born to British parents in Iran. She won the Nobel Prize in Literature in 2007. Question number 2 is, who wrote detective novels under the pseudonym Nicholas Blake? We have 4 options: Robert Bolt, John Hopkins, C.D. Lewis, and none of these. So, I hope you must have thought about the answer, and the answer is it was C.D. Lewis who was writing under the pseudonym of Nicholas Blake. C.D. Lewis was an Anglo-Irish poet and poet laureate from 1968 till his death in 1972. He wrote mystery stories under the name Nicholas Blake. Next question is, Sigmund Freud was a or an Austrian neurologist, Dutch psychologist, Australian writer, or none of these? So, the Sigmund Freud, with whose name comes in our mind the theory of psychoanalysis, was an Austrian neurologist. Next question is, Aldous Huxley wrote Brave New World in the year 1909, 1930, 1932, or 1934. So, Aldous Huxley, who wrote Brave New World, even Point Counterpoint, and Chrome Yellow, was teacher to George Orwell, and he has written Brave New World in 1932. Next question is, Anthem of Doomed Youth, a famous war poem, was written by Option A, Wilfred Owen. Option B, Edmund Blunden. Option C, Siegfried Sassoon. Option D, Eva Dubel. And the answer is Anthem of Doomed Youth, a famous war poem, was written by Wilfred Owen. Next question is, who is not an American author? We have 4 options: H.D. Thoreau, Benjamin Franklin, Thomas Paine, and John Steinbeck. And the right answer is Thomas Paine is not an American author. He played an important role in the American Revolution of 1776. But he was born in England and left for America in 1774. Move on to the next question, and it is here for you. Who of the following is not an African American writer? So, Alan Locke, John Locke, Phil Wheatley, Richard Bright are 4 options in front of you. And the right answer is John Locke, who is known as father of liberalism, is not an African American writer? Let's move on to the next question, and it is, who wrote Blood Wedding? We have options: Lorca, Pirandello, Kafka, or Joseph Conrad. And the answer is Federico Garcia Lorca, who was a Spanish poet and playwright, has written Blood Wedding. So next slide is in front of you, and the question is, which of the following books has been written by Salman Rushdie? So I hope you must have answer in your mind, because Salman Rushdie is a well-known Indian author. And we have four options: A Bend in the Ganges, Train to Pakistan, Grimace, The Great Indian Novel. And the answer is Grimace is the work written by Salman Rushdie, because Train to Pakistan is written by Khushwant Singh, The Great Indian Novel is written by Shashi Tharoor, and A Bend in the Ganges is written by Manohar Malgonkar. Let's move on to the next question. And the slide in front of you is of who comes from Caribbean island. So we have four options: Margaret Atwood, Patrick White, Derek Walcott, or Chinua Achebe. So 2 seconds allotted to you are over, and we have Margaret Atwood, she is Canadian; Patrick White, Australian; Chinua Achebe, Nigerian novelist; and it is Derek Walcott, who was first Caribbean writer to receive the Nobel Prize in Literature in 1992. So your answer is Derek Walcott is from Caribbean islands. So rapidly moving to the next question, and it is, the terms condensation, displacement, and secondary revision are associated most with. So options are feminism, formalism, psychoanalysis, deconstruction. And the answer is, the terms condensation, displacement, and secondary revision are associated with psychoanalysis. Next question is, if it is with a blank space. So in front of you is a slide where the very first word is not given. It is a blank space, and then we continue with, said language is a system of interdependent terms in which the value of each term results solely from the simultaneous presence of the others. So who said? So option A, F.R. Lewis, option B, C.P. Snow, option C, Saussure, and option D, R.S. Crane. And the answer is, it was Saussure who said that language is a system of interdependent terms. Let's have a look at the next slide, and it is, who maintained that the 20th century would have to deal with the color line? So we have options: W.E.B. Du Bois, Booker T. Washington, Frederick Douglass, and Alan Locke. So the line was spoken by W.E.B. Du Bois. Moving on to the next slide, and the question is, the literary work of art and the cognition of the work of art are written by option A, Wolfgang Iser, option B, Jonathan Kohler, option C, Roman in Garden, and option D, Noam Chomsky. So, the answer is the literary work of art and the cognition of the work of art are written by Roman in Garden. Next question is, probably, now you have a blank space there, most famous comment for literary theorists at least is that the unconscious is structured like a language. So, whose comment is this? We have to fill the name of the person who has commented this, and we have options. This comment is of Saussure, is of Barthes, of Lacan, or Jung. And the answer is the unconscious is structured like a language is a famous comment by Lacan. Next question is, to err is human, to forgive divine, is a very good example of option A, assonance, option B, spoonerism, option C, antithesis, option D, metaphor. Possibility is there that you must not have gone through some of the figures of speech that you are just having look here, like spoonerism may occur a new term for you people, so please have look on all the terms. But the answer of this question is, to err is human, to forgive divine is example of antithesis. Moving on to the next question. The wedding guest, he beat his breast, the ice mast high, came floating by, at length did cross an albatross. These lines are example of option A, free verse, option B, internal rhyme, option C, I rhyme, and option D, none of these. So this line is from, because आपके पास albatross is there, so it is from Coleridge's poem and is an example of internal rhyme. How it is internal rhyme? Internal rhyme occurs in the middle of the lines of poetry. It refers to the words that rhyme in the middle of the same line or across multiple lines. Like see, in the very first line we have rhyming guest breast. In the second line we have rhyming high by. In the third line we have rhyming in cross and albatross. So this is an example of internal rhyme. Next question is, I could sleep for a year. I was so tired. So we have to find the figure of speech in this line. And we have four options: understatement, dysphemism, hyperbole, and metonymy. You can check from there. I could sleep for a year. I was so tired. No one can sleep for a year, even if somebody is so much tired. So this is an example of hyperbole. Next one is, he is only a child of 50 years. So it is an example of option A, antiphrases, option B, ellipsis, option C, malapropism, and option D, hypallage. So, he is only a child of 50 years is an example of antiphrases. Antiphrases is a rhetorical device of saying the opposite of what is actually meant. And it is said in such a way that it becomes clear that what is actually the intention of the speaker. So we are saying something in opposite manner. So he is only a child of 50 years. If somebody is of 50 years, we cannot say one is a child. So it is an example of antiphrases. Next question is, two syllables, one stressed and one unstressed. It is the characteristic feature of blank space foot. Option A, trochy. Option B, anapaste. Option D, dactyl. Option D, spondy. So when we have one stressed syllable and one unstressed syllable, it is feature of trochy. So almost 20 questions have been discussed in this series, and I hope all these questions will be helpful to you and you must have learned something new. Thank you very much for bearing with us, and please like, share and subscribe our channel. Thank you very much.